Hey everyone, and welcome back to another weekly catch-up podcast. It's Wednesday, November 18th, 2020, and this is the 57th, bro?
I think it might be the 57th.
This is 57 or 58, folks. We're happy to bring it to you.
57.
57, thank you, sir. My name is Carson Gibbons, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend, Mr. B-Rad Colvin.
That'd be me.
Just the two of us.
We can
Make it if we try. Just the two of us. Oh, I'm going to want to go back and redo that part. Brad, you're such the singer here.
Mono y mono, man.
I had a lot of fun over the last 3 weeks. Austin and Shannon, Michael, Heston. Thanks to all of you for coming on. We've enjoyed all the collabs on social media and just your insights on the show. But I'm relieved to just be back in the cocoon with you, B-Rad.
Just locking eyes with you.
Yeah, we're just
man.
Okay. Try not to derail me this quick.
Oh, we are back.
I'm like,
baby.
Don't be gay and genuine.
We are back.
Will you do your thing?
You got those thighs. You got those thighs showing in those shorts.
We gotta redo the whole boilerplate.
Let's get it.
It's the weekly catch-up with Carson and Brad. Here to talk about the week we done had. It could be sports, religion, politics, we keeping the tabs. You would think they work for Gucci, how they deep in they bag. Get your facts up. On Wednesday we'll be counting the stats up. So turn the volume up till it's maxed up. You know the drill. So tell a friend to relax up and chill. We back up. This is the weekly catch-up.
You're a mess tonight, bro.
What?
What's going on with you? Why are you coming on to me, bro?
Listen, man. You hit me with those baby blues, and I just don't know what to do with myself.
Especially with that blue and white checkered shirt, son.
Yeah. So,
it's almost like I bought the shirt. I didn't buy this shirt, but I dress in blue because I know it makes those baby blues pop.
Oh, yeah. That's what we do, you know?
Yeah. Are you a little bit more green?
You know,
not more green than blue, but more green than me.
Yes. Like if I wear a green shirt, my eyes will look green.
We literally are looking into each other's eyes.
I'm saying, man, you're postured. You know, you got your hands on your knees there. And anyway.
All right. Okay.
We're back.
Yeah, another 2 hours of no swearing, just a bunch of sexual tension between two straight co-hosts. What the heck?
We are on this tandem bicycle. We're just strolling along.
I like to think of it as synchronized jump rope myself. Did you ever do that? Like two?
Like double Dutch?
You could do, well, wasn't there two variations of this where you could like, one person could jump two ropes or two people could jump the same rope? I haven't jumped rope in a minute, man.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Seems like one of us works at a school. Like they don't have like, oh, you work at a high school.
Yeah, I'm not jump roping.
It's exclusively high school.
Yeah.
What's going on with that? Are you out of your mandatory period?
We are back in the classroom.
All right.
Yeah, with today's Wednesday, so we got 2 more school days, and then we're on Thanksgiving break. So
just 2 more sleeps.
Yeah. Just in time for everyone to gather around their family and catch some more COVID.
Bro, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Like they are locking stuff back down. Like Chicago went on mandatory lockdown this week, and the state of, I think it's Washington or something like that, or is it Oregon? I think Governor Jay Inslee, didn't he ban like you can't have more than one living household represented in your household?
Oh,
like for Thanksgiving. So my family can't go see your family for Thanksgiving. In their state is what I'd kind of, you might Google that as some like double check that stat for me, but
yeah,
that is if that's not unconstitutional AF, I don't know what is. And I get that we need to, some of the pandemic restrictions and best practices and the different things that we are doing for the betterment of our health and preservation, it's not always going to fall beautifully into the lines of the Constitution per se.
You said Mark Baisley?
No, I said Jay Inslee. Hi, white guy name.
Well, Mark Baisley is over here in Colorado making some rules too. So.
What is he doing?
you have a constitutionally guaranteed right of free assembly, and we need to go to Colorado, I guess. Sounded like that they can get together.
I mean, they're winning for a lot of reasons.
Right. Mountains and
yeah, totally. Plants.
Which state did you say?
Washington, or Washington or Oregon. It's Governor Jay Inslee, who I'm pretty sure is Washington. One of those failed states.
Got it. Governor Jay Inslee. COVID-19.
All right. So you're back, and so what's the latest over there?
We still have a few teachers that are out. So a bunch of substitutes, and the substitutes are basically just coming in and watching the kids while the teachers are online still teaching from their homes.
Okay, so kids are commuting into the schoolhouse and then watching the class via Zoom that the presenter is doing from home.
Because we have like 2 teachers that are still at home, but the thing is our basketball season started this week. And so the kids, they're not allowed to stay home and then show up for a basketball game, right? So we have like, that's an incentive for a lot of kids to come back to school. So here we are. So we actually had our first game of the season yesterday. We won 98-40.
Goodness.
Oh, and we could have ran it up even more, man. It was.
And you didn't even practice,
no,
because you were supposed to start practicing.
When I tell you, I was so impressed by how we played. Like, it was insane.
Straight dunking on these fools. Like, what was
literally?
That's crazy.
And we don't even have a tall team. I have a bunch of kids that are like 5'8" to 10 dunking.
What?
Yes.
Like little Spud Webbs?
Bro, it's an incredible sight. We just ran that court, full court press until we were up by like 30 and then put in the bench. Like we scored 98 and we played our bench for like a full quarter. It was...
Jeez. So for most of our listeners who are probably non-Adventist, all of these things that we're about to say are relative in like the leagues that we're playing in.
Yeah, if you went to public school, like D1, like
if we're not Florida
it's not going to be impressive to you, all right? But
I just wanted to preface this comment with that. Isn't it weird how CTA has always been like super competitive at basketball at the high school level? Almost like they're harnessing that competitive energy, and then those same kids in a year will walk across the street to Leisky Pultar, where all their hopes and dreams will just die, and they're like, "Hey, we're not that serious about this here." Like, what happened? Where's that breakdown? Because I remember going to, I think I went to go see like Lance Johnson and Mike Hossel back in the day at like a CTA basketball tourney.
Right.
And it was like lit, you know what I mean? Like, and I guess the Hoops Fest at college, but that was high school and college, right?
No, it was just high school.
Oh, that's
the college provided, the gym and everything. But it was only high school playing.
I just don't know why they choose to only make one sport competitive, and that sport is gymnastics at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
And the weirdest folks on gymnastics.
Right. I don't know either. I know basketball. I mean, honestly, I think a few years before you and I got there, they were legitimate. Like back whenever Francis had first shown up, and
you're talking about SWAU?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I know that they used to be able to compete, and then it just kind of ran its course. I would say a lot of the kids from CTA, once they get to Southwestern, like I know a lot of our good players from last year, only one of them tried out and joined the team. The rest weren't even interested in playing. And I think that's kind of because of the reputation of the team. They're like, well, we're not going to lose by 100 points. And so they're just like, we'll play intramurals and have fun with our friends and get our studies done and call it a day.
Yeah.
So,
well, didn't Francis retire as like the all-time leading point scorer after 13 seasons? That's why.
Yeah, maybe so.
Shout out
Francis.
Shout out to Pebbles. Yeah, man. So you're good. Are you happy that are you masking up or what's going on?
We are 100% masked now, even if you are closer than 6 feet. So if you are in the classroom, once you step into the building, you are masked up until lunchtime. Then, kids got to eat. So we're taking off our masks. And then as soon as lunch is over, we're putting them back on.
In some ways, your new system is the most foolproof, because I've long advocated that it's got to be super hard for these teachers. That the worst possible scenario is you have some in real life students and you're zooming to virtual students. I've never understood that. And so I always had said, why don't they just put the teachers in one room and the students in another, and they just zoom back and forth to each other? But this system where the adults that are more at risk, especially the older ones, the older teachers,
Right.
they stay home, they zoom back to a classroom full of virtual kids, and the students at that age are less likely to contract it. And if they get it, it's probably not going to do much.
Right.
And they can take advantage of intramurals and all of this. You're still doing masks.
Like the reason we all went home is because basically our entire volleyball team got the vid, and
the vid.
yeah, and they were fine.
The Rona.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's kind of funny that I'm sure that if you're looking at this show from a national perspective, like it seems super out of touch, to listeners in New York or Chicago or California, because I've been talking to customers in these various markets and, selling software that focuses on building stronger relationships, especially during a time like this, when technology unites us. I know that I'm at even more of an advantage for those markets to sell into, because it's very respective to wherever you are in the country. Like some people are on utter lockdown right now.
Yeah.
Like toilet paper is being rationed again type deal.
Which is,
at the grocery store.
Don't get it.
I saw on Monday Night Football, they were playing in Chicago, or I think they were playing in Chicago, and the announcer comes on and he says, well, I mean, nobody's going to be here because Chicago is on lockdown, mandatory stay-at-home orders again.
Yeah.
And so you're bound to be tuning into this game because you probably are home and stranded and nothing else to do. And I just realized, like, the thought of going back for another, like, really, intense shutdown or lockdown just scares me half to death.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we're going, if we go into a second lockdown, I feel like we should definitely go into it more prepared. I think that not that I'm just like wanting money, but for those that are having to stay home and stop working, like I think another stimulus plan like needs to be put in place and in action before we even decide to shut down. That way people know that they're secure and can pay rent and are good to go. I don't think we should just kind of be left stranded like we were several months ago during the first one, where it's like, okay, are we allowed to leave? Like, what's going on? How long is this going to last? What are the rules? I just think it can be handled a lot better this time around.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that second or third lockdown in, that they would be a little bit more ironed out of the kinks. But I guess it depends on which administration is in office to a certain extent, like to set the national tone. Yeah, we can discuss that stuff later. But
yeah,
glad you're back. Glad you're well. I've actually been feeling kind of COVID-y myself.
Yeah,
in certain ways. Like I was telling you before the show, like it's kind of awkward when you kind of get the sniffles and you don't have COVID. Like,
yeah. Well, that was me last week. I don't know if you noticed, but like I was a little stopped up and I'm like, okay, well, I hope I don't seem suspicious out here. But
yeah. And I was thinking, like, do I tell him before he, like, how seriously do I have to take this? Because, every day that I've gone to work, I worked from home today, but I had normal temperatures.
Yeah.
Granted, I took some ibuprofen in each of those mornings just for aches and pains.
Yeah.
And because I have a bad habit of just taking it daily.
Yeah, I take my temperature 3 times a day, so I know I'm good. But yeah, last week, I think it's just the weather changing. I mean, that happens to me every year. It's just this. You just get a lot more suspicious in this day and age.
It's a lot of things. It's like the year wrapping, and a lot of people's work is intensifying. If you're in retail or e-commerce selling goods, I know that. I mean, we can get into this a little bit later, but I'm working like kind of around the clock for the first time in my life. Like I've never worked harder.
Yeah.
So just the fact that I'm able to steal away for this is, I plan around it every week, where it's like, hey, if I have to expend any amount of social or personal capital to to afford 2 hours a week, this is what I prioritize for sure.
Appreciate that.
Okay, so back to school.
Yep.
Weather changing. COVID is like at an all-time high. We just crossed 250,000 deaths. Still not a big death problem, honestly. From a cases
From
contracted
amount of people catching it.
Well, like the mortality rate is not high.
Yeah.
I think that's how you would say that.
Mm-hmm.
However, new cases daily, we're like, what are we at? 200,000 a day or something?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's spiking.
Yeah. But is there any good news? I mean, I feel like Dolly Parton and everybody else got together and created a.
What did I see?
Dolly Parton, I think, funded $1 million or so dollars to the people that created a vaccine for COVID.
To Pfizer?
Yeah, the group with it might have been like a group within Pfizer. I can look it up.
That seems weird that you would donate to Pfizer.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that she did something.
Yeah, I got you. Just a sec.
But I think that
Moderna.
So she gave money to Moderna?
Yeah. You know what? The New York Times is trying to make me pay them $1.
They don't give you
read
anything.
This article.
They don't give you anything, bro. They used to give you like 3 free.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she donated $1 million to COVID-19 vaccine research.
Okay.
Back in April.
That's
and
a drop in the pan to her.
Right. But I think the running joke was like Dolly Parton came to save the day, and they should be pushing that vaccine out here shortly.
I used to be utterly like I wanted to be with her romantically, like I wanted to be her young man when I was a child, like 5, 10, 12 years old type deal.
Right.
I was kind of infatuated with her for a time. I should not probably be saying all this, but my parents used to take us to, are you familiar with Branson, Missouri?
Of course. Yeah, I've gone there with my parents many moons ago.
Kind of a little wholesome gym in some ways. It's just, I've got a lot of fond memories there. I probably haven't been there in probably more than 20 years at this point, but we went several times, and among the highlights that we always did religiously, and forgive the slang, forgive this term, everybody, but we went to Dolly Parton's Dixie Stampede, and it was basically medieval times, but it was North versus South, and they served you chicken, and it was a Civil War reenactment and Dixie Stampede, and the South would always win, and everybody was cheering. This was in the 90s.
Right.
And they would have like horses and battles, and it was so much fun. You could go before and like, have you been to this one?
I can't remember. I've only been to Branson once, and I don't remember exactly everything that we did.
Well, I'll never forget. We went, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 times, and had like little, inside family jokes and stuff from that particular show, just because we got to know the show, and she has it all branded, merch, like she's making money hand over fist. And that's just one of her things that is going on under management. And as you're leaving the Dixie Stampede, there's this huge, like probably 10 or 15 feet tall, just like gorgeous, like portrait type photo of her in like this big frame that you walk down a flight of stairs, and she's just like there on the wall in front of you as you go out. And you
were sold.
I was just,
like, that's the dream.
I was in love with her.
Yeah.
I just,
and Carson's been working 9 to 5 ever since.
9 to 5. I wish. The funny part about that whole story is that it's now Dolly Parton's Stampede.
Oh, got it.
I don't know if you caught this news story.
They changed the name.
It was maybe within the last year for sure, but she apparently got out in front of it and realized whenever Lady A and all of those name changes were occurring.
The Dixie Chicks are now just the Chicks.
The Chicks.
Yeah.
It was right around that time that she kind of proactively saw that news story coming, and she changed it. And then she put out like a little presser or something saying, well, I'm just a good Southern girl. And if I'd known that anything made anybody feel bad, I would have taken it down even sooner.
I believe her, though.
And it was just brilliant because she has a shtick. But I'm telling you, that woman is like, from a business perspective, ice cold water running through her veins. Yeah. And I say that with all the respect in the world. Yeah. I think that's why I'm in love with her to this day.
It's making more and more sense.
So anyway, that's kind of like, that's my 20 years with Dolly, folks.
And here we are, full circle. She's saving the world from COVID.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, some of it, I'm just going to put this out there that she's a great person. She's a beautiful woman inside and out. She also has a press team that's looking out for her. And like, what is it? Her $1 billion empire at this point? Like,
oh, it's got to be.
I'm pretty sure she's like a billionaire.
I can look up her net worth.
Yeah. Do you trust those Google searches where they always return the net worth of whoever?
Well, I'm not showing up on it, so yes. She's put at 600 mil.
Okay. Dude, that's like Beyonce territory.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Will you look up Beyonce's net worth?
Yeah.
Is it like, is hers more than Jay's now? I do feel like
she's at 400 mil.
Then
Jay-Z has to be way more.
He's
a billion.
500.
No, he's $1 billion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he owns arenas. He has the Tidal music service. He owns
anybody on Tidal?
A lot of people are actually on Tidal.
Really?
Yeah, like Sirius audio files, as they're called. Tidal actually offers the best sounding quality music service. Like their file sizes for the songs uploaded are larger, and so some people don't like that because the songs take up more space on any device. But the quality, if you have an ear for it, it's just a lot more clear. And then they have exclusives on there. They debut music videos and different things like that. So they're doing. It's like a niche streaming service, but they're doing quite well.
It's like niche high end.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that education because I've always wondered about that. I'm not the person that goes and downloads a new app. Speaking of apps, I feel like you were like bleeding edge when you were telling me about Parler, bro.
That was Heston. So I actually corrected it on the notes, but I can't take credit for it. That was Heston that brought that up.
Well, Heston was bleeding edge on that. And dude, that is so interesting because he was talking about how 95% of the people back home in Canadian, rural panhandle Texas, were talking about Parler.
Right.
He literally had like the ear on the ground moment because it was not 3 days later that I saw it on Fox News and CNN. And then I saw people start like quote tweeting stuff.
Yeah.
And wow, he was like day one of understanding that.
He nailed it.
Wow. Shout out to you, Heston. Loved having you on, buddy.
Yeah. Heston, a lot. I listened back and just really appreciate it. And I loved learning more about everything that you do. I know that you were explaining the security and everything. And listening back, I'm like, oh, dude, I should have understood that more easily in real time. But I think I was trying to jump in and like ask questions and everything. But listening back, I just want to reiterate that what you have going on is just incredible.
I also felt dumb. And like, I was talking to my parents and I was like, I should have known. They were like, do you not know about money? And I was like, I know about aspects of money.
Well, for me, I was talking about the security and I was like, oh, so they could like be heading out of the school and like you could track them. And he's like, no, the point is so you know where they are within the school. Like, and the point is you're not infringing on their privacy whenever they leave.
That Q&A, that exploration is a great. Like, there are no dumb questions in that scenario. And I will tell you, I've been briefed, pitched, updated on that company for the last 12 months minimum, since before it was a company or, the cake that it was basically the underlying infrastructure back in that time.
Yeah.
And my exploration, he had never, even my mom said he had never conveyed it like that. Like, I got it for the first time and it was, it was really cool.
Definitely.
By the way, I want to do one more correction and then get off this topic real quick.
Okay.
My parents were talking about the dino dig part and they were like, sounds like something happened with you. And I went back and listened and I was like, he had asked me if a part of me died, and then I was like, yeah, but a part of me came to life too. And then I realized like the time of life and all of this, and I was like, you guys think I lost my virginity on the dino dig, don't you? And they were like, we kind of do. So I wanted to tell the audience that did not happen.
Yeah, and so you're never mind. We'll just keep it pushing.
That didn't happen. So what were you about to say?
The jokes that could be made. I don't know. Speaking of apps, I do have one that I do want to put you on game to.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Clubhouse app?
Yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. This is new to me. I've learned about it within the past week. But those that don't know what the Clubhouse app is, it's a very exclusive app at the moment where a lot of celebrities are coming in and talking about it. Let's see. The app, users can enter into different rooms to listen or participate in a conversation. They're able to see who else is there, and they can also see their profiles, and the person who made the room is the one who bestows speaking privileges onto the participants. So I just thought that was interesting. I know Joe Budden had been talking about that on his, because I guess he's part of it. It's at the moment it's invite only. But I thought that was interesting because then Twitter also this week released their fleets. And we've talked about that many episodes ago whenever they first announced that they were going to be
had to have been
doing something
20
like that.
episodes ago.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So they finally rolled it out this week, in which, it's just like Instagram stories or Snapchats. Fleets, meaning like fleeting moments. They disappear after a certain amount of time. And so it seems like all of these different social media, platforms are really changing up what they're doing within the past month or so. Instagram has completely reformatted. I don't know if your Instagram has updated yet.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But yeah, it is. And it's like a store now.
Yeah. Somebody tweeted that Instagram became WhatsApp and Twitter became Instagram. Mm-hmm. So we're all just on. Did I say WhatsApp?
Yeah. Instagram TikTok. Became TikTok with all the moments. Is that what they're called?
Reels.
Oh, Reels.
So Instagram became TikTok and Twitter became Instagram. Yeah. So we're all on TikTok. And it was funny because it was like banned and like marginalized. And then, so going back to your Clubhouse thing, I feel a little bleeding edge with that because that started like within the investor community. Okay. Like that was all I saw on my Twitter chatter from VCs and tech people out in the Valley and Colorado and stuff like that was like, who get me on a Clubhouse invite. Yeah. And it became a very memeable thing. Like the chatter that I subscribe to is very strange in that it's like this nerdy, ironic commentary on politics and startups and a lot of like people that I really just admire and I want to get their nuggets, like Paul Graham, the founder of YC, Austin, the founder of Lambda School, Heston, founder of Flybox, you're the most viral dude I know in IRL.
I've
on
had
Twitter.
My moments.
So Clubhouse, to the extent that I feel like the memeable moments from the investment community have already come and gone with Clubhouse. Like it's kind of a yesterday's story, but I don't know. I could be wrong on this, but I really feel like it was mainly like VCs and technologists and maybe some of the celeb bleedovers because there are a lot of celebrity investors now.
Yeah.
Like Ashton Kutcher, is always at like YC Demo Day and he's actively investing in companies.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of these celebrities that are, musicians or actors, they're really trying to branch out and even like leave their life. They're like, that's my window of opportunity is like I can blow up and have a hit song or a hit movie. And then once I acquire that income, then I can start investing and I can see myself out. You're seeing like a lot of big names, like they're not making as much music anymore. I mean, I think, were we talking about Jay-Z we were talking about Tidal and everything, but Jay-Z, I mean, he doesn't ever have to put out another album. And he's made a lot more money from his other ventures than he ever did from music. And so it's just interesting to see celebrities kind of turn and start owning like sports teams and all these, investing in apps or land or just all these different things. It's kind of cool.
If you have a bunch of expendable income or, money lying around, there is no single greater way to generate a return of astronomical proportions than to pick a rocket ship on its way to an IPO and invest early. So if you're Ashton Kutcher and you have $25-30 million laying around in your B of A, then if you get in with the right people who are scouting those deals, there was I think it was like a church school that invested. I think they were were they limited partners? They were limited partners in a fund that invested in Snapchat back in the day. I think they invested their portion was $15,000, and the return at IPO was $24 million on the $15,000. Paul Graham tweeted out the other day. I can't remember what company it was. It was like $50,000 in this company right after demo day would net you $12.5 million at this next valuation or this next liquidity or they IPO'd. I can't remember which company he was talking about. It was a YC company. But that's the whole gamble, They have all this expendable income, and it's a way that you can also make your money work for you and be somewhat more discreet. They're not always trying to be, but they realize that, man, if I say anything or do anything that the general public or the media rejects or doesn't like, I may not get that next like Netflix acting job.
Right. But I mean, it's a safer, in a way, it's a safer bet for them because they're like, okay, I can put money behind this and buy a bunch of stock in this business or this venture, and then I don't have to be in the limelight. I can just help fund it.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to say anything stupid. My name, I'm not on any billboards or anything like that. I don't have to do any promo for any releases. I'm just chilling. And you guys do all the work. Here's my money. Help it grow.
Yeah. No, if you can serve as a connection source and, or if you just want to write a check, that's the ultimate goal, right?
It's perfect. It's perfect for this day and age, with all the cancel culture. It's like, I'm just gonna fund this and I'm gonna sit back, watch my money pile up.
So you brought up, that was Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Then you brought up, what was the next? It was Twitter.
We talked about
it was so trippy when I first saw that because I flashed back to that podcast episode probably 20 weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I guess it finally happened. Because they beta test certain demos prior. Like Michael had a version of Instagram that I'd never seen. I think I still have never seen it.
Well, and I know Twitter, they allowed you to, some people, I never got this rollout, but it was where you could just record your voice and post it.
Yeah,
but now that's been integrated, or that's still is that separate from the fleets? Because I still don't have that. I have the fleets now.
I'll let you click through when we turn our phones back on at the end because I haven't had a whole lot of time to. The whole Instagram update, I have not even humored it by going through it. Like I've rejected every aspect of it. I don't watch reels. I will in the future.
Yeah. So what I want to ask you is, do you see any of these, like, are these platforms going to continue growing and are we just going to adapt to it? Or do you think any of them are going to fall off after making, like, what are your predictions is what I want to know. Because we come on here, we talk a lot about like what we think is going to happen. A lot of times we can be right. Every once in a while, we have to make some corrections. But so I'm curious, do you think like Instagram's going to fall off and we'll get tired of it, especially with Twitter having like these similar, stories that you can post and all that?
I think that Twitter and Instagram are technically in two different playing fields, right? Like Instagram is so much more valuable. It generates so much more revenue
at the moment.
I mean, so you're thinking
I have not seen a single person saying that they enjoy the new update. Not a single one. Not even whenever I saw, the update trending, I searched through it and I did not see one person be like, guys, I think this is going to be cool. So, maybe just because we've had Instagram for years that, we'll stay on it and just adapt to it. But typically I see some people at least trying to fight for, whatever the update is. I didn't see any positive feedback from this one.
The new update is not as much of a mirror. Like before it was okay, this is my feed, my friends. You know, next one is search. I miss the search. Like I miss that instant access to just global search there. And then, you know, post in the middle and then my likes and then my profile. It was all about me. And now it's so much more of like a come and enjoy the platform. Like look at all this content. So I think that all I know is that the social media giants will continue to morph. They will continue to add. They'll continue to steal. I don't think Instagram is headed towards a fall off. I don't know anything. I'm just commenting at large because they're owned by Facebook, and they're creating synergies and deciding what stays and what goes in each of the products. And now that it's under the same roof, if you will, they're not looking for those. They're looking for competitive advantages against each other, just in terms of like targeting and like who really likes this product, who are we building this product for. I think for a long time, Instagram was like more the solution for our generation. And then our parents got on that too. And it was like, crap, okay.
Off to Twitter we go.
We literally got a bunch of boys on here, Patreon, like Patreon and OnlyFans. We're going to see our parents on that soon.
I mean, TikTok.
A lot of parents have gotten on TikTok, dude. Or they just dance in their kids' TikToks and then they end up posting it on their Instagram. And I don't know, like TikTok is now partially owned by, is it Microsoft?
I think, I don't know. I know that there was two companies because I know that there was Oracle as well. And I don't know which one actually went through. But I can look that up.
You know, this is one of those things, like the way that a fund works is that a couple really proficient people at sourcing deal flow, that, you know, companies that are reaching an inflection point, they need an infusion of capital and they're willing to shave equity points off for it to propel them to the next level. A couple of those guys are steeped, or girls are steeped in that world. They have connections and they know people with money. And so they go to people with money and say, hey, give us your money and we'll invest it for you. And then any of the profits that we make from these successful returns, we get a percentage of that. Plus we have a management fee, blah, blah, blah. And then those, like, think of it as Texas Money could put, their money into a fund out in Silicon Valley that's, bidding on competitive SaaS software deals. And they make the decisions on behalf of the fund, and then they carry the profit whenever they end up putting in $1 million into a company that it then nets them, $100 million or $1 billion or whatever it is. So that's how they pay all their investors back with profit. And the main point that I'm trying to make here, and I'm struggling at so hard, is that you can hide money. Like, you don't know, even with TikTok and whoever owns it, or if the Chinese still own it, blah, blah, blah. There's so much Chinese money in these funds. And, isn't like SoFi, or what was the bank like that has it's like comprised of foreign wealth essentially.
I have no idea.
There's just a lot of instances where you can, raise money from anywhere and then invest it under this moniker that everybody respects in your region. And it could have come from Saudi Arabia or, China or whatever the case may be. So when you talk about ownership and shared interests and stuff, like we're so interconnected globally at this point, like fiscally. Like, do you know how much of our country other countries own? Like physical pieces of our country. Yeah. Or they've like bought the lease on a rare mineral or something. Like, I don't know. It's so incestuous. The idea in some ways of borders and all of this, like I support them from a physical safety perspective, but
they're silly.
The internet, crosses every wall.
Yeah. Yep. No borders there at the moment. TikTok, the creators, I guess, filed an injunction, and so for the time being, the ban has not gone into effect. However, there is a deal that's still up in the air made by two corporations, one Oracle, and I want you. Well, I don't even think you'd be able to. The second one being Walmart, which is crazy to me. I don't know.
You talk about somebody that's pivoting things up and having to really look into new territories,
They have to.
It's Walmart.
Yeah.
Because don't you remember when Walmart acquired Jet? Wasn't it like Jet.com for like $3 billion or something?
Yeah, I remember when Walmart was ruling the world. Like,
the majority of our lives.
Yes.
It's only been in the last, I think Amazon is killing Walmart.
Amazon's killing a lot of businesses. But yeah. So so I can see them wanting to kind of make a shift, and I don't know how they would play a part in TikTok unless they just own it and kind of let the creators do whatever they want with it. Like, I don't know how that works, but I don't know how they would.
Maybe there's going to be a bunch of whole rollback dances.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you'll probably see it in their commercials and stuff. Get that dude that was drinking cranberry juice and
Will you explain that whole thing to me? Because I love that video. And
listen, it was just a man. It was just a man on his longboard with a cranberry juice ocean spray bottle, and he was sipping it while he was riding his longboard, listening to Fleetwood Mac, Dreams, and that it went viral. The people were just so. I don't even know the words. They just loved
some type of way.
It was a cultural moment. He's already been featured in some commercials.
Well, so I saw him kicking it with Snoop Dogg, and I was like, is this Photoshop or what's going on?
And people are like, that man is going to have to carry around ocean spray grape juice for the rest of his life.
Yes, that's what I was seeing. And I was like, I don't know who's who anymore with the internet. Like,
but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Anyone can become anything at any moment.
Alternate realities, though. Like, oh, my goodness. So this dude blew up.
You can be a star just for riding a longboard and drinking grape juice. And Fleetwood Mac, that has gone so viral that they're back in the charts again with that song.
No, there's like, this is a whole cultural story that we're referencing. Like, you know how much content has been produced by this? Mm-hmm. Did you see the Monday Night Football catch where the Jordan glove got like all these millions of dollars worth of brand value from being so viral?
Yes. And he made nothing because he doesn't have a deal with them.
Right, but doesn't he have a deal with somebody else?
Yeah, but
it was DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, but he didn't make money off of that catch, is what I'm saying. Because the glove was in it, and he doesn't have a deal with them.
Right. I think he was. If he's not really mad, right?
I don't think so. I'm just saying, like, that's a bummer for missing out.
I think it was just like a quote tweet with an emoji or something like, I didn't get paid for this or whatever. But and really, it wasn't it wasn't billions of dollars. But first of all, he was doing his job. He was wearing the gear that he wanted to wear.
Right.
It was a great photo.
I'm not like here trying to defend him saying pay the man. I'm just saying, like, dang, I kind of like, if it were me, it's like, just for catching it and like Nike's making this money, I kind of wish I had a deal. That's all. Like, he's not mad, and I'm not saying he should be or anything like that.
Nike is just like so perfectly straddling the culture wars, the race war, like the political wars.
They're in it all. They come out with these beautifully moving commercials each year.
By signing Kaepernick, the amount of free press they got from spending money on press with that whole deal and that commercial. Like, they are brilliant over there right now in terms of marketing.
Yeah, Drake, 2 singles ago, he filmed his music video within the Nike headquarters. He's about to have a whole line release probably with his album in January. They have their hand in the cookie jar, man. They're ready to go.
We were talking about Walmart then, so I don't know. I'm one of those shoppers that I'm always going to have to go to a local grocery store for certain things like hazelnut creamer and Preciate OTC and just whatever else I'm getting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go based off of convenience. Mm-hmm. So when I lived in St. Thomas, I had to go to that little neighborhood Walmart, and that place was sketch AF. Like, they always had someone zip tied there, like it was insane. Like, they just had a cop station there all the time. And I saw so many people getting let out. Zip ties are alarming. It's like, where are the cuffs, bro? Like,
they're just trying to break into those coin stars
what is
that
this,
they have.
Narcos? Like, I've seen some real sad situations over there. But thankfully, I shop at Kroger now, and It's the gay Kroger over here in the
I've
neighborhood.
never heard that. That's
Krogay?
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
Yeah, we don't got those in Mansfield.
Well, you got one next door.
We just have Kroger.
Bro, this is like the last time that we'll be here together. One of them next to last time, probably.
Yeah, expand on that. I know we talked a little bit about it last week.
I moved like a week from Saturday.
That's insane. How do you feel?
I'm kind of just like, we'll talk about how I feel later because I don't have time to feel at the moment. Again, this is like such a special treat that we're doing this at the moment, and I think doing it well. I've been distracted the last couple of weeks because it's been a lot going on.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
Work wise.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I'm moving. I'm excited about that. I'm ready to get over there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this weird, like, you have to basically have Uverse hooked up before you could really be there, like all night. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
So I'm also like paring everything back in the existing apartment and just deciding, the majority of stuff I'd really like to trash, honestly. And, really cleanse in life, so to speak. Like,
definitely.
It was a different situation in which I entered this apartment, and even a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been very rapid scaling up in many different ways. And I'm excited about that. But there's a lot of momentum generated by that. And right now with the startup, we've made some moves recently.
Yeah, you have.
That have just generated more traction and more. I described it to the team as I've been in sales for quite some time. I've sold a variety of things and products, services, SaaS offerings, and I've never had people try to claw a product out of my hands to this extent.
Yeah.
And I've been in a situation where I'm averaging sometimes 15 external meetings a day, plus internal meetings. I ran my stats in HubSpot. I'm averaging like maybe 150 emails sent a day, 20 phone calls, 15 external meetings, 1.5 internal meetings. And, like deals created this month. I booked 280 meetings this month.
Yeah.
I've conducted, a ridiculous several months worth of new customer meetings. And it's very exciting. It's where you want to be, but it's kind of all you do, actually.
Yeah, it's consuming.
That's
Definitely.
literally what it's been like.
Yeah, I typically show up 30 minutes to an hour earlier than when we press the record button, and many times you're still negotiating deals or you're showing to new customers, your product and everything. And yeah, I definitely see you hard at work, and I've definitely seen you more busy within the past couple of weeks, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like Brad's fist bumped me during so many Zoom calls and Preciate socials, like off camera as he's walking in. Cause I'm always on a call still. But yeah, I've started to actually get booked starting as early as 7 a.m. for internal, external meetings. And
as late as what?
I have meetings on the books through 7:15 p.m. Central Time tomorrow.
Jeez.
And that's all well and good. You're sitting down. Maybe that's half the problem. But the issue is if I'm meeting with a new client every half hour, like, and doing the follow-ups and documentation and all of these different things, I've had to skip needed bio breaks because I'm transitioning in between so many things. And all the while you're running customer support, customer success, interfacing with the team on new things. Like, it's insane. You have to do 3 things at once all day without transition. Like I've never really had a position where I worked like 12, 15 hours a day, like hard consistently, like mind work, It's grueling
for sure.
I woke up on Tuesday and I looked at my bed and I was like, was I even in this thing? Like, it looked like I hadn't moved. It was like a coffin. Like, the covers weren't even messed up. It was just so weird. But hopefully this is the moment that you live for,
Yeah, it's what you guys have been working towards. So I think that's incredible, man. So hats off to you for all the hard work that you're doing, and also being able to move into your new apartment next week. I can't wait to record from in there. Or,
Man, it's just it's going to be right next to the
or
pods that
or
we
we can just go there.
record in.
True, it's right across the street. Yeah,
I think that I'm concerned about moving from a very nice little residential type area that's like right in the city, but it definitely is a little bit more pedestrian over here. More homes, more apartment complexes, to moving to, I feel like I'm moving back to like the Dallas Shops at Legacy again, like kind of a little bit more urban development type area. And I'm super excited about that because I think that in some ways having the nightlife just downstairs, the ability to walk over to the AAC, and just being kind of in the heart of the city is exciting to me. What scares me is thinking about the fact that you're down in Johnson County with fewer restrictions and able to have a more routine, normal life.
Yep.
And if I'm moving even further into city center as we go into the cold months and potential lockdowns, that's the part where it's like I could be damning myself in that process.
I hear you. Yeah, I mean,
because the other option
crazy.
was certainly I moved next to my office amidst the pandemic where everybody's going remote and realizing you can move anywhere you want. So I could have moved to the burbs. I could have moved, shout out RIP Michael and Shelly. They moved to Frisco.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Adios.
So, that was certainly an option. And Michael said you should come up. And I paused for a second, I was like, darn it, I'm not ready yet. But at the same time, Legacy West is like a new downtown.
Right.
It's way more grown up than even when I was there.
It's on the come up
10 years ago. But I'm excited about the decision in normal times. I hope that there's not imminent lockdowns that, I'm just doing a reverse move because I like being next to the office. I like being close to the action. And, I walk around the corner and there's Channel 8 and Victory Park. And that's exciting to me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably picking a bad time, but I'll tell you, when you pick it's like what you said, dude. You are so bleeding edge. Do you remember when you said on the podcast that you bet COVID was going to drive down rent for like the like what was it? The penthouse, and the first floor was going to be cheaper because nobody would want to have to go up all the buttons or whatever.
Yeah. Dude.
Something like that. So I got a killer rate. Like I walked in and I'd been scoping this place for a second. Oh, and our friend Ashley Grizafi, Big Grizz, hooked me up as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's with Real Cool Real Estate.
Okay.
Real Cool Apartments. They do they're essentially locator services, but she's awesome to work with just because she doesn't hound you with stuff. Like, she just will she does what we used to do in recruiting. It was called a skill market, where you would just, if you knew that this person needed copywriters, you would just send over a blurb about the best copywriter that you came across recently and dangle it.
Yeah.
She kind of does the same thing with properties that are already kind of honed in on your search. So I went and saw it myself, but she's taken me to other apartments in the past, and she's just good at communicating with you in a very millennial way. She'll literally send you links, prices, specials, all via text, and also does a lot of business on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Instagram stories changed up the real estate game in many ways, because now people are demoing apartments, and so she'll do a story of
and just record a walkthrough, or
a awesome view, or a setup, a photo of a model, and throw a filter on that thing, put Miley Cyrus on, some glitter in the corner, DM for specials, and that's producing clients, and so they get paid. I don't know what their split is, but oftentimes those apartment complexes will pay them up to half or the first month's rent or something for that. Yeah. So if you close 30 apartments a month, I mean, that could be 15, 30K.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
It is interesting. I was just sorry for verbalizing all that, but I told her I would shout her out on the podcast because she's the person to go to.
Yeah. Shout out Big Grizz, Ashley Grizafi. We love you.
Yeah. Real cool. She wants to go golfing sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she an avid golfer? Or she just thinks that would be a fun outing.
I don't know.
if she just thinks it would be a fun outing, I want to be a part of that. if she's like hardcore, like legitimate, then I'll just let you two go. But she's cool people.
Yeah, she's one of those people that until I go play with her, I don't actually know which one she is.
Right.
Because I think I saw a photo of her out golfing or something, and she was looking the part of the pro. Let me tell you,
which I can believe.
So, you know, she's crazy.
Yeah,
she's talented. So, yeah, she hooked me up with that. But I walked into the this mid-rise that I'm moving into, and one of the things that I loved is that the woman, the leasing agent that showed me around and did everything with me, she lives there. She's lived on site since they opened. It's about 5 years old, 6 years old. She's been on site since day one. And when she pulled up the apartment that I wanted in the time range that I wanted, she kind of went, "Oh, wait, what?" And she was like, "Honey, even with my employee discount, like this is like on par with me or even a better deal." Like she was amazed. So I got it at just this amazing rate. So I'm super pumped because it got me everything that I wanted. And I haven't been in the actual unit. I know which balcony it is. And so I've gone to the parking garage next door.
Like staring at it from outside?
No, I'm trying to see what my view will be.
Yeah.
Because I'm supposed to have a view where if you look to the left, American Airlines Center. If you look straight in front of you, it's the new whatever building that is, that the high-rise skyscraper they just built, and the W Hotel. And then if you look over to the right, I'm supposed to see a little bit of Victory. But I'm told I should get like 8 or 10 of the big buildings downtown.
Yeah.
Skyline view. So I'm just like nervously awaiting the day because I keep whenever you drive by on 35, you kind of get more of the scale. So I've been like looking at it as I come back from the golf course. Like, what am I going to be seeing?
Right. No, I'm sure it'll be great.
Like how turned on am I going to be from this view? No, so I'm super excited. Glad to be close to work, and it'll be easier when you come over to go record over there.
Yeah, I'm hype. Speaking of moving, I am helping Kortney move into her apartment tomorrow.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so
I was it a tweet or an Instagram where she
said,
she
tweeted like, "Oh, I packed all of my stuff in one day" or something like that.
It was something cryptic, and I was like, "What are you doing? What's going on?"
No, she was just really excited because she had packed up everything on her own, and she's ready to move out. So she will be moving over in Fort Worth, about maybe like 7 minutes from Cook's Hospital.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So she'll be able to get home a lot sooner and not have like as long of a commute. Be able to get some more rest and everything, and also have her own place. So she's super excited about it. So I'm actually going to be, as soon as I get off work tomorrow, we're going to be moving stuff and hauling everything in. So
yeah, that's super exciting.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she's not just living down further south. Because that'll be a nice connect for you too.
Yes.
I know you're going to be buying a house next. So it'll be nice to be able to go holler at her and kind of be in Fort Worth and just different change of pace. Because you spend a lot of time in Dallas coming to the show. You spend a lot of time in Keene, Mansfield. So it's nice that you have that bridge.
Oh, yeah. So super thrilled for her and thrilled for me because I'm going to be over there all the time. So it's going to be great.
Thanks to the apartment, babe.
It's a nice little place.
Fort Worth is cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Are you still thinking that you're gonna buy kind of over in that direction?
Probably Burleson area, because eventually, whenever Kortney and I are under the same roof, her commute will be to Fort Worth, and I'll be heading to Keene, and so I think that's like a nice middle ground. I wouldn't mind driving a little further. So if we did find a great place in Fort Worth, I'd be about it, but I'm thinking we'll most likely in the future end up in Burleson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So yeah, that just adds to my busy week. Like I said, Monday, we're finally back in the classroom. Yesterday we had our first basketball games. Today, podcast. Tomorrow, moving Kortney. Friday. What's Friday, my man?
Oh, I know where you're going. I don't want to go there.
Happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going to bring that up. I'm not
course.
telling anybody. I'm
Oh.
doing that passive aggressive thing this year where I'm like, "We'll see if you remember."
Yeah. Well, did you take it off of Facebook? Because
Uh,
I went to go make sure, and then it wasn't there.
oh, really?
Like your birthday is not on Facebook. So if you're wanting some love,
Yo, that explains why my shoutouts fell off the last couple of years.
right?
I used to get like
it's
200.
not on there because I went to go make sure, but I mean, I just know your birthday is the 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for remembering.
I try, but yeah,
True
it's
Scorpio.
not on Facebook. So if you're wanting some love this year, you might want to put it up there.
Yeah, but now if you see it, you're gonna know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I need it. I like it because my screen just cracks and like it. Congrats! I'm like, woo! Yo,
That's great.
Can we talk about apps? Like that is something. Has that not made your freaking day before?
Oh yeah.
When your whole screen, congrats. And
just a whole wall full of them.
You're like, whoa! Like even on iMessage when you just type congrats, I'm so happy for you. I love that explosion of confetti.
Oh yeah.
It's such a connection to real life and like excitement and
and that's kind of what your work and company has dedicated themselves to is kind of that, somewhat that gratification, right? Is I don't
helping
know,
helping other people, highlighting other people, making other people feel good.
Right.
I
think it's a more even more like valuable and sentimental than the confetti stuff. But what I'm saying is like I totally see how the confetti helps, but then within Preciate, it's like that tenfold.
I think it's like when software positioned in a certain way can elicit human emotion for positive, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And the congrats thing is something that it's like, oh, darn it, that just made my day.
Oh, shucks.
It's just, it's lines of code, but it's something that...
Not what I thought you were going to... lines of code.
It's lines of code.
Where are you going with this?
Written by engineers on lines of code, if that's what you wanted. But it elicits human emotion. And in the same way, there's nothing more gratifying than working with a culture change agent within an organization that's going to champion your product and your B Corp status and your purpose, your mission, your desire to build stronger relationships and promote more team cohesion and togetherness.
Yeah.
So I've had calls with customers where they literally, this is going to sound silly to some people, but they have literally gotten choked up and emotional and tearful receiving like their first recognition on the platform because the way that we've built it is to be intentional, to be thoughtful, to be specific.
I don't think that's silly at all. Like
but
me, I totally resonate with that.
People are moved by some of the first actions that they do on the platform. And now with Preciate Social, it's just another ball game of like bringing people closer together, and it's super exciting. Yeah. I'll plug it. Like everybody on this show, listening to the show, should go to Preciate.com, sign up, and head over to the social tab and quick start one of those things or customize it with your own theme background, your own music playlist choice. And what you can do is you can get into this social. You got to use Chrome or Microsoft Edge on your desktop or your laptop. It's going to require camera and microphone enablement. You're entering a fully immersive experience with social agency. So what's the difference between like a Zoom call and a Preciate Social? Zoom call is kind of like your conference room. It says start meeting, end meeting, leave meeting. You know, it's squared edges, no social agency or ability to move, and one audio dominant speaker at a time.
Yeah.
It's your conference room. My guess is you've never been to a great party in your conference room. You got to go to the bar across the street to do that. We're the bar across the street. We provide social agency. So when you get in, you're in this like kind of 3D, fully immersive space against this background with a music playlist that's, you know, available for everyone.
Yeah, it's dope.
You're able to use your arrow keys to navigate around the social. And there's a map legend on your left-hand side that shows all of your friends' locations. And so if I see B-Rad over in the corner, I can arrow key over to him. And as I get closer to him, his voice becomes more prominent in my ears. And when I'm standing next to him, I hear him perfectly. and we're in this like audio sphere. And then a couple people across the room in the same uninhibited social space. We're not going in between rooms or meetings.
It's all in the same
across the room. Just key over there. They're having a totally different conversation.
Yeah.
And you can facilitate up to 50 users in these socials.
Yeah, I know. And Heston joins the room. He comes over to me as you're walking over, and I'm like, dude, you will not believe what Carson just said to me. And Carson can't hear me because he scrolled over to the left. And we can gossip about him, and then I can see Carson's little bubble floating over to us, and I can be like, hey, shush.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's dude. Yeah, I'm glad that I've shown a lot of my friends. You know, a lot of the guys that we were setting up for bachelor parties and different stuff this summer. We'd have Preciate socials, and it just provides the ability for mixing and mingling in a true to real life format or setting. And it allows for making conversation, listening to music, but more than anything, you get to have true to real life social cues. You know, there's
it's a lot more immersive than Zoom or Google Meet or anything else that I've been like. I mean, from a teacher standpoint, I think that would be amazing. Is like I could have students move around and start in their own small groups and on some group project or group assignment, and then I could come over to to each of them across the platform and see how they're doing and talk with them and give directions just to one group and then head over to the other. Like social distancing and distance learning, like I could see a lot of value in using Preciate just for that.
The very first customer of social only, of Preciate Social, back before it was even out of private beta, was the National Science Foundation.
Really?
For students.
Oh, wow.
Because they have these presentation nights where you have to defend whatever, and you want to go to different areas of the room and talk to this student and then talk to that professor. And so they have networking events with the American Chemical Society, National Science Foundation, Emory University. They've been in the press for us recently. Because so that's what's really happened here.
Yeah,
this got picked up in the press.
Yeah,
because essentially, employers are coming out of open enrollment, and COVID. To some of them are going back into COVID, but everybody just realized, oh shoot, it's about to be the holidays.
Yeah.
We have Thanksgiving parties and holiday formal parties that we do every year that we spend thousands and thousands of dollars on. We're not going to be able to do it this year. And that Zoom call is not going to cut it.
Yeah.
Attendance will wane if we do it at all. And so a really foremost publication, SHRM, Society of Human Resources Management, they've got just the largest following in the world. And one of the buyers that we interface with internally in organizations is certainly HR.
Yeah.
And so like 40,000 of their professionals read an article about how employers are using Preciate Social to have virtual socials for their employees that will actually delight and not be a drag. And that's what happened. And so that's why I'm
blowing up, baby,
working around the clock.
Yeah, it's looking good.
It's the most exciting thing in the world. And more than anything, it's just gratifying when you get to help build stuff that, I mean, there's not a category for this, you know? I have 15, 20 companies a day that I love watching their faces. They get in and they're like, what? That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Blowing their minds, man.
All right. So let's change the subject.
I'm
always tentative to discuss anything because in younger companies, I think that things are more dynamically changing at all times than like if you're at Oracle.
Yeah. Some start, they're still learning what they are. Right. But I feel like Preciate it's coming more into its own and you guys know.
The beautiful thing about both sides of the platform, if you will, and the products that we've built, the products that we're going to build,
it's dynamic, is
that they're all in a pursuit of the North Star, which is our purpose. And, it could be hokey, but it is powerful. Yeah. If you have a governing purpose to the organization, like to initiate and strengthen deeper relationships, the next product to come that does that could be even better and not thought up yet, but if it's ultimately doing that and we're actively becoming embedded with these organizations and it's literally adopting the new mantle of thinking. For so long, it's been rewards and recognition and just like, oh, I got a recognition, so I'm going to go get an airline mile. And it was an extrinsic motivator. It was an extrinsic dangled carrot for behavior that didn't lead to true culture change.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't focus on tying it back to your core values. It focused on competitive energy. It was almost more performance management.
Sure.
It might incentivize a sales team, but it doesn't lead to team cohesion. I've talked to friends that have used other products in the space and they were like, yo, like it kind of like made your blood, you know, go like you got high blood pressure. Like it made your heart race a little bit because you'd go walk to the bathroom, you'd see the leaderboard and, you know, it's on the TV screen in the office and there's a lot of competitive energy fostered. And you know what? There's a lot of turnover at those types of companies. And the single greatest way to battle, you know, a retention issue is to focus on building stronger relationships on your teams. Because you're less likely to leave a team where you have strong, connected, like personal friendships.
Where you feel appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so... All right. Man, we haven't even tackled our notes yet,
We
dude.
haven't, which is crazy.
We're
but,
so good.
But before we move on, I want to say happy early birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I forgot. I don't have anything on the docket. I'm 31 on Friday. So that's like a really ugly number. 30 was awesome. You know, I knew 30 was going to be the last good one until you get 35, I guess. Like, I'm sure I'll have a nice dinner with somebody, but we'll figure it out.
Right. I want to say happy early birthday to Kortney, whose birthday is a day after yours.
21st.
Yeah, it's on the 21st, along with Brian's, which is my mom's husband. So happy early birthday to him. And then also today, while I'm at it, is my dad and Shelly's anniversary. So just
any prayer requests?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
Just want to shout out everybody while it's on my mind.
Let me tag all those people back real quick. First of all, you work well with Scorpios.
Yeah, I do.
You're in love with one.
Yeah.
You're also dating Kortney.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know how to handle y'all.
That is. Do you buy any of that? Oh, never mind. We can circle back, but
only you know what? So I don't know if I believe in
something to something.
I don't know about the moon and the stars and all that, but I will say what opened my eyes to it was I think it was Outliers. Whenever Malcolm Gladwell does talk about the hockey team, I know we've talked about this before, but like certain kids were better at hockey because they were born in the spring and were ready to play by winter or something like that. Like because of their age, they made the deadlines in order to be on the team earlier than those that had been born in different months, right? So I kind of feel like the same thing with zodiac signs or whatever month you were born in. I think that does lead to certain opportunities, and that could shape your personality, is what I'm trying to say.
Interesting. Okay. So because
I think there's something to being born in January versus born in July versus August, like I think the spacing I think provides different opportunities.
I don't think we'll ever have like quantifiable analysis of what happens to you early on, or
and it's not foolproof either. Like people,
But think about the vibe when you're conceived, the vibe as you live in the womb, and then the vibe in which you're born into and subsequently witness. I'm thinking about if it's Boston and winter and you're born in November, the sun's down, depression's up, it's cold as all get out.
Nothing's going to break that kid.
There's a lockdown. What is that first 6 months like that might impact that person?
No, for real. Yeah.
So that, I don't know, something to it. I just find it ironic because I have found, whenever I read the stuff, I'm like, man, this is dead on.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that. Anyway, so happy birthday to Kortney.
Yeah.
I remember that I remembered that. I didn't think about it in that moment, mainly because I haven't thought about my birthday or Thanksgiving at all. I've literally been so dialed in on work that
right, one day at a time.
if I could get to play golf at some point in the next 2 weeks for my birthday, like I would be blissful, just overjoyed. But yeah, what are you going to do for her?
I'm taking her out to dinner on a day early on Friday night, and then she has a brunch that she wants to do with some of her girl friends that I'll be a part of.
How old is she?
She will be 24.
Oh, right on, Brad. Okay. That's beautiful.
Isn't it?
It kind of is.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And then shout out to Brian.
Yes.
He's also a Scorpio.
Yep.
And then shout out Geeky just for the heck of it. And then
my dad and Shelly. It's their anniversary today.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Your phone's off.
It is.
Will you hand me that though? Because you know, I know it's your special day, Dean, and you've been in love.
15 years. They met in 2000, but it's their 15 years anniversary. So that's pretty cool. That's commendable.
Yeah. 20 years knowing you. Yeah, but I want to remind y'all of like who Dean is the other half of the time too. It's not all roses.
The other half of the time, more like 90.
Yeah, I want to remind y'all who Dean is. Yeah. It's not all bachelor roses and BnBs, y'all.
Yeah. We'll see how he's made this relationship last so long. I'm sure it's the good humor, right?
So all you got to do if you want some yo mama jokes from Dean is talk about him on a podcast, telling him he hasn't sent you any lately, because I got one that was, he's just sending these gems. The best ones are your mama's so stupid. I really think the stupid jokes are funnier. A little more bite to them. Yeah. So wanted to let y'all know that Dean Colvin did send this to me via LinkedIn at 1:14 p.m.
1:14
on a weekday, and he goes, Your mom is so stupid. When thieves broke into her house and stole the TV, she chased after them shouting, "Wait, you forgot the remote."
Oh, that's good. Happy anniversary, Dad.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
You earned it, buddy.
Yeah. Your poor wife. We love both of them. Okay, now I'm looking at my notes at the first time. Circling back to my move, can I talk about, like, we've been circling back to apps at all parts of this conversation. The process of moving and transferring everything when you're moving into a nice building,
easy, right,
is so turnkey. And I'm like, wait, are you taking money for, like, where's the money going? It's all, I just basically got this entire digital concierge desk, and they told me everything that I needed to do. Some things I hadn't considered at all. So I just get this email. It's like I'd signed my lease and done all of this. And I get like my updater profile and my concierge desk. And it's like, want to go ahead and change your mailing address with the post office? Want to order a new driver's license? Want us to call AT&T for you? You need movers? What about renters? Like, I'm like, oh, perfect. It's a one-stop shop portal.
Yeah.
That game has gotten so turnkey.
It's they're trying to get people in, man. Moving has gotten much easier. That's all there is to it. I was like asking Kortney if she needed help with anything. They're like, yeah, no. I mean, they kind of took care of it all. She's ready to go. She officially signed her lease today, and she's ready to move in tomorrow, and has everything set up. So she's good to go. And it seems like you are too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm as organized as she is on this, because I'm working so much that, like, literally I can start plotting the move each day and different things that I have to do in my personal life at like 10 o'clock when I'm just done.
Yeah, she has everything that she needs in boxes except for furniture, which is not going to go in boxes. And as soon as I get off work, like, she should have friends that have already taken in the small stuff into the U-Haul. And then her dad and I are going to take the furniture and put it in. And then once we get to her place, Gerald is going to show up, and he's going to help me move the furniture in, and she'll be good to go. So seems like seems like she has it all figured out, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna go good.
Yeah.
Wow. So new place for her birthday. That is.
Yeah.
That's
for a year too, though. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. I'm not even connecting the dots on all this stuff. There's star stuff happening everywhere, buddy. Zodiac
You
signs.
Scorpios, man.
We're just yeah. You know how we celebrate our birthdays.
New year, new place.
New penthouse, baby.
Yeah. Moving on up in the world.
Kortney's like, for my birthday, I got a doorman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Mm-hmm. So busy week for old Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You holding up with all that?
I'm doing good, man. Next week is Thanksgiving break, so I'm chilling. It'll be good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Thursday.
Yeah, ready to put on those sweatpants and chow down.
It's hard. I would love to cancel every call Wednesday, but they're like some of the most important ones. Like the weirdest thing about high-level executives is that they can often be reached for some of this strategic stuff and like higher level stuff on a Saturday morning or the week. Like I have my best connection rate to the economic buyer, like the actual CFO or whoever in the organization, like the day after national holidays.
Yeah.
Like the Tuesday after Memorial Day, call every economic buyer in your book, because they're going to answer the phone because they're the only one in the office.
True.
So I'm going to try to take Friday too, because I'm going to move that Saturday.
Oh, nice.
So, or at least start the process.
Are we watching football next Thursday? Or is that not going to be a tradition anymore? I just mean in general, like as
we are, right?
A Dallas Cowboys fan.
I think it'll be the first game I take in all season.
Okay. So yeah, I want to know we'll have to tweet this out. I want to know the general consensus is like, are we going to be eating good food knowing and like turning on football knowing that we're going to lose?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do that every year, bro.
No, we typically beat the football team.
Sorry, the football team. I'm so like I'm not up to date. I'm like I don't care about the Cowboys at all this season because I understand that we have no chance at all.
It's a good year not to care.
So I haven't followed.
Yeah.
The minute that it was lockdown for team sports like that, and then Dak went out, it was like, okay, I literally don't even. I have not digested a single frame, so
it's been pitiful. I'm so glad we had a bye week this past week, so I didn't have to hear anything.
It'll arbitrarily be on at the family members' homes that I'm at. So
yeah, all right, cool
tradition.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet it out from the account because I still want to know people's. I mean, you know me, I'll probably turn it on. Will I watch the whole game? I don't know. We'll have to see. There's some new stuff on Netflix. Do you
not just have football on all day, like all 3 games?
I typically do. I just don't know if I want to. I don't know. I need to be a true fan and watch it, I guess.
I just like having sports on holidays just to break up the monotony. Like, I don't want to actually carve a goose at like a formal table with you with no.
Well, that's like Kortney and I will be at my mom's, and so it'll be us 2 plus my mom and Brian, and so. All I'm saying is we can sit on the couch and watch a movie or Netflix or a comedy special, and I don't know if we watch the Cowboys, we'll probably still get a good laugh. So,
I'm gonna leave partway through the game. I mean, I don't care.
Anyway, moving on.
At least we can have Thanksgiving. There are some people that literally are not going to be able to.
Oh yeah.
This is what I've been dreading all season.
I have coworkers that have had to cancel their plans because they have family members that live in other states that are on lockdown again. You'd have to quarantine for 14 days and all that, and they just can't do it. So, very fortunate. You're right.
The thing that I was watching this past weekend that was not football was the Masters.
Yeah.
And Dustin Johnson took the green jacket, and it was super emotional, and he was super emotional. And it was.
You cried?
Yeah, of course. Every Masters you cry. Okay. I cry at just normal PGA Tour events. It could be the Sony Classic, The third string is out, and I'm like, he just got his tour card, and this is life changing.
Yeah.
No, I definitely cried.
Hey, why do golfers bring 2 pairs of pants to the golf course?
Why?
In case they get a hole in one.
Okay. See, your dad tells jokes, and now I see where you get it from.
Yep, here I am.
Although you have the worst dad jokes. Like, he's
It's
just
amazing.
like talking about your mom.
Yeah.
So I don't have much more to elaborate on, I guess, to this non-golf audience.
But it was a touching moment. It was great. You enjoyed watching it.
It's well deserved. He's won in each of the last 13, 14 seasons. He's been prolific over the last 10, 15 years. He's 36, 37 now. Mm-hmm. So this is not a fly-by-night professional. He's won 23 events leading up to this, including a major. This was his 24th PGA Tour victory. It put him at the 26th all-time in terms of the wins column on the PGA Tour. I think he tied or surpassed Hale Irwin or somebody pretty prolific in their time. And this was the major that he always wanted to win. He grew up an hour from Augusta across the state line in South Carolina. So he had, like, his whole family was, as many family members as could be were at the golf course. And then the rest were like at a house, that everybody rents homes in the nice communities of these championship courses. And so Paulina was there. He's with Wayne Gretzky's daughter.
I did not know that. That's cool. Dang.
That's part of his success is Wayne is a mentor. And
a mentor in golf or just a mentor in life?
In winning.
Okay.
He's
greatest hockey player.
Well, but greatest athlete mindset.
Yeah.
And so the common denominators between a Jordan, a Gretzky, a Johnson, all these different people almost transcend sport at that point.
Got it.
And also, Paulina is a dime.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Paulina Gretzky, go find how you can search on Instagram now in that new mess of a UI and look up Paulina Gretzky and then thank me. Okay.
Yeah.
But the relationship almost father-son like between Wayne and Dustin, that relationship has been on. They're like a long-term couple with kids type deal. They've been together for years and years.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that grooming has led to this intense focus and it's definitely a power alliance between two athletic families.
That's really cool.
And his brother was his caddy, and his brother was crying when he made the last putt because
keep it in the family.
He's been on his bag for 7 years, and he just watched his brother. He had a pivotal role in helping his brother win the Masters, which there's footage of Dustin from 30 years ago as a kid in South Carolina saying, all I want to do is play in the Masters one day. And so to watch somebody like scale their mountain is crazy every time.
That's incredible. I like that.
Could be Goggins on a road. Just they told me that whatever. I love those videos. Like,
those tried to break me down.
But you know what? There's a correlation between all these people, winners in life. Like Ricky Fowler is always liking Lewis Hamilton or F1's Instagram. David Goggins, Rory McIlroy is up on his Instagram all the time. Like half the golf professionals or F1 drivers or any high level athlete, businessman, whatever, they're ingesting the same stuff in certain respects. There's crossover. Lewis Hamilton in F1 was worthy of watching this weekend. Crazy Turkish Grand Prix, covered in rain. He won his 7th world championship and is now tied with Michael Schumacher in that regard. And he's like the all-time winningest F1 driver ever. And meanwhile, I'm watching Abraham Ancer, a Mexican-born PGA Tour professional, that if he wasn't a pro golfer, he wanted to be an F1 driver. And he's literally in the final pairing at Augusta at the Masters. And I've been watching him with an eagle eye for about 15 months now.
Yeah.
He's never won. He's going to win. And then he's going to win a lot. And he would be the first Mexican to ever win on PGA Tour.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry. Carlos Ortiz took that role the weekend prior at the Houston Open.
Wow. So
Carlos Ortiz was the first Mexican-born player to win on the PGA Tour.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But there's that common denominator that unites all these people, you know? and they have to source each other out for support.
That drive.
Because nobody else has encountered what you've encountered successfully.
Yeah. Man. That's inspiring. I like that.
That leads me, like we've been talking about work and being beat down and all that, and I'm really having to channel some of that inspiration and just look to the people that you can't look to people that you don't want to be.
Right.
For guidance or to model anything that you should think is applicable to your life.
Yeah.
You have to look up and around, and so there's a lot of stress that goes into what I've been doing. Mm-hmm. And I found a quote this week really powerful in this regard. And it's something that, in terms of like raw ownership and being responsible and all of this stuff, that I've really wanted to harness and I wanted to share. It goes like this. Stress primarily comes from not taking action over something that you have some control over. Stress comes from ignoring things that you shouldn't be ignoring. Jeff Bezos. Mm. And when I'm sitting on the couch on a weekend or a weeknight and I'm feeling stressed, I shouldn't be feeling stressed because I should be able to schedule things out and think strategically and execute.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I don't have an effective system for returning this communication, mm-hmm. or I know that this is still on my plate and I haven't tackled it, but I also haven't even budgeted time that I would tackle it. Yeah. Maybe the planning of it would assist me.
And I also think that quote's interesting because that's saying that, and I think I might agree with it, is that perhaps we think or we worry more about the things that we can control and don't, rather than stressing out about the things that we can't control. Because a lot of times you say, oh, don't worry about the things that you can't control. Just handle the stuff that you can do, right? But what this quote is saying is like, you know, there are certain steps that you can take to handle that stress, and don't sit around. Like, create a plan, keep it moving. Like, don't just stay idle, right?
Yeah, and don't offset the blame or the responsibility of your stress onto other. Like, this was part of my point with Trump people, like Trump haters, that mm-hmm. you know, everything could be crumbling around them, and it was because of Trump. And yeah. Like they never met. Sure. He didn't know your name. Yeah. He'd never been to your town. Mm-hmm. And it's like, actually, maybe the things that you were blaming on extrinsic things, you could have gone to the gym and worked out. You could have mm-hmm. slept better. You could have done whatever.
Yeah.
Planned better. You know, things that were in your control.
Sure.
We can only control our reaction, and, you know, to a certain extent, try to maintain our consciousness in those efforts. But I've got another one for you. Last one. Austin, actually, at Lambda School, who Heston referenced, mm-hmm. you referenced on last week's episode. He had tweeted out. Oh, I'm sorry. No, he tweeted out the Bezos comment. The next one actually comes from a guy named Justin Can. Mm-hmm. Justin Can. I actually got to see him present at YC and SaaStr out in the Bay Area a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And he was, Justin was the original guy from Justin TV, which is now Twitch TV.
Yes.
And so he's had a whirlwind experience since. He's actually had his own round of failures. You know, so when I was in YC in 2019, he was CEO of Atrium, which was trying to disrupt the legal space and do like software as a service with retained legal expert advice. And they changed business models, but they were one of these darlings that raised a bunch of capital and lots of press. He's on the big stage, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm a schmuck. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to be him. It was that total moment, mm-hmm. imposter syndrome moment. That company is gone. You know,
right?
It failed. It had to shut its doors. It ran out of cash. It didn't work. And he's still the founder of Twitch TV, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's ups and downs, and he's shared a lot of raw emotional guidance and stuff like that on Twitter. So mm-hmm. definitely look up Justin Can. And one thing he wrote was, every day I write in my gratitude journal, I am the source of my own approval in the world. 2 years later, it is finally working. Mm. Every day I write in my gratitude journal, I am the source of my own approval in the world.
I'm the source of my own approval in the world. I like that.
Yeah, like we're always talking about legacy, and I'm always thinking like, oh, it's gonna kick in after I'm gone or later in life. And one of the things with the weddings recently and with having to step up and like be a man at work and just in a lot of areas is your legacy is right now.
Yeah. I have an offshoot example of that, and that I read an article today about George Clooney, who it recently came about that in the mid, like I think, I don't know, maybe 2011, 2014, several years ago, he had given $1 million each to 14 of his closest friends who have helped him out whenever he was down, given him money, a place to stay, has always been like a solid rock for him and everything. And he was basically saying like, you know, these 14 people, they would be written into my will, and would receive this money, you know, if I were hit by a bus today. But why would I wait to be hit by a bus when, you know, I can share that with them now? And so, you know, you talk about like leaving a legacy, like why wait until you're gone to reap those benefits and those rewards and see all the great things that are coming out of it, right? Whenever you can share that with those around you now, and like you can gain something from it as well. Like I think it is cool to leave something behind and have like leave like a lasting impression. Like that would be awesome. But to be able to enjoy that with the people around you, I mean, that's amazing too.
Yeah, maybe it's just coming out of your 20s and newfound social media craze and that whole generation where, you know, we didn't always act right. Like I didn't always act right interpersonally, just like face to face, or it was taken less seriously maybe than it should have been, because you're always optimizing for the gram or whatever's going on. Like it's really about, I don't know, like your focus changes and your brand is what people say about you when you aren't in the room. And you don't need a whole lot of time for that brand to kick in. And as you encounter new people, especially at an older age now, like a more mature adult age, it's like, oh, this is like they're going to form an opinion based off this, you know, like we're at that age, you know, it's not just like, oh, that friend keeps getting brought around. It's like, this is all optional and we pick and choose who we want to be around.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, the people that you choose to put in your circle is optional. The actions that you choose, you know, you become responsible for them. I'm going to go ahead and pivot to a lyric that I heard this week from none other than Russ. I think I've talked about Russ in the past.
Is that the What They Know guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, he dropped an EP this week.
Okay.
5 songs. I'm going to go ahead and say the lyric first, but he's talking about how my circle's getting tighter. I swear it's like an oval. You know, just little bar, but
sorry, was I supposed to go like, oh, bam, bam, bam?
Nope, I'm just trying to find a way to pivot to talk about music. That's all.
Oh, take it away. And I like Russ a lot. Thanks for the tip.
And I mean, he's just a highly inspiring person. You know, we've talked a lot about music and artists owning the rights to all their songs and everything. Russ, he produces all of his own beats. He writes his own lyrics. He uploads, like he's not signed to any label or anything. And so he literally will like make $1 million in a month off of a song that he's released. He will just drop single after single. A lot of them don't even appear on his albums, but he'll just get the streams because he has such a core fan base that he just brings in so much revenue. It's insane.
How many streams is $1 million a month?
Let's see. Is $1 million. Let's see. How many streams does it take to earn $1? So about 1,500 listens get you $1, I believe. And so, yeah, it says it takes almost 1,500 plays to earn a single dollar on Spotify.
Yeah, but if you're Drake and you have like billions,
right? And that's daily listen. Like, how many? I'll speak for myself, and this is for Drake and Russ. How many of those songs have I played multiple times a day? You know what I mean? Like, not even just an album, but like I'll play that song and I'll be like, dude, that hits, and I will run it back. You know what I mean?
Me with the new Yella Beezy.
Right. Yeah. And so whenever you make great music, like it's not far-fetched to get that many listens. I know 15 100 seems like a lot if you're
Not really.
uploading a song for a first time.
Yeah, sure, 100%.
And so it can seem a little daunting. But Russ, he built himself from the ground up, found a fan base like on SoundCloud, and the rest is history. But I was just going to talk about his EP, which I just find incredible. It's called Chomp. And again, 5 songs. He has King Crooked on the first one, Ab Soul on the second. The third is produced by DJ Premier, which is one of the top beat makers in the world right now. The fourth one is with Busta Rhymes, and the fifth one is with Black Thought and Benny the Butcher. Benny the Butcher is my favorite rapper at the moment. Russ gets a lot of flack for being like in the hip hop world. You know, a lot of his songs are like lovey-dovey R&B stuff, so they think he's kind of soft and like he doesn't get a lot of credit for his raps. But this one, this EP, he's just rapping like no other. I highly recommend it if you're into rap. I was just super impressed by it.
Did Benny the Butcher get shot?
He did. He got shot in the leg.
What do I know of his?
So I think I've talked about his group before. He's in this rap group called Griselda.
Okay.
This is his second song with Russ, so maybe I've played the first song that they were on together for you at one point.
I just see him all over Twitter, all online.
He's just amazing.
And I'm like, I know that I must know his stuff, but I'm unaware.
Yeah. If you like, Griselda is like the new Wu-Tang.
So he's obviously going to be fine.
Yeah. It wasn't like it wasn't fatal or anything. People ran up on him. They had been stalking him. He and his crew, I think, stopped like at a Walmart or something. They had to get supplies, and they shot him. There were multiple shootings, different rappers within the past week or two.
Did you see Lil Boosie Badass got shot in Dallas?
Yeah, because he was at a wake for another rapper that had been killed the week before.
No, he was at like the Big Texas Mart or whatever it is. He was in the parking lot of like this pretty ghetto store.
I want to say I'm pretty positive. Okay, maybe he was on his way to one, but I know that
I'm sure that he was in proximity en route, but he was. I think the Sprinter was like at like Big Tux, whatever.
Right. But that dude got apprehended, right?
I don't know. I just saw the initial. Like I saw in real time on Twitter. I kid you not. It was every other tweet was, "Hey, no, he was shot at. You know, there no bullet holes in the Sprinter." And then the next one would be like, "They shot Lil Boosie, R.I.P."
Yeah.
And then the next one was, shots confirmed. He was targeted, wasn't actually shot at all. And then some were mortal wounds, some were like life-ending wounds. It was just every single story in the first 10 tweets.
Hard to know what's going on. That's why I kind of just wait for the dust to settle.
But I also kind of thought, this is Boosie. You know, he's been shot before. Like, this ain't nothing new.
It's not anything new, but I still like it's tough to walk outside and constantly have to look over your shoulder.
He is a fortune teller, though. He's a futuristic dude, because it must have been 2010 that he called what 2020 would be. He was like, now everybody likes Zoom. Zoom. They on them doves like Zoom.
Man, that's great.
And now we all zooming.
Now we're all zooming.
Man, Boosie.
Wow. That's insane. I want to talk about, so this is like my main story of the week, which I find crazy. I can't wait to hear what happened here. What are you about to say? Okay.
You teased this to me earlier, and I'm like, what?
You're going to get a kick out of it. Listeners, I'm sorry if you don't know who either of these people are. But that's on you, all right? Carson and I, we've had guests for the past 3 weeks. I just need to talk to my friends. So this is what we're doing right now.
Heston didn't have a whole lot of insight on the rap game for some reason.
I thought he would provide more, to be honest.
But you know what? He turned us on the Parler app real quick. So
yeah, jokes aside.
That's like diversity of thought right there.
Truly.
We have differing...
Yeah.
This is the weekly catch-up, man.
Yeah, we're not going to be cornered. You can't box us in.
Please tell me your story of the week.
All right. Jeezy.
Yeah.
Formerly Young Jeezy.
Yes.
Okay, goes by the name of Jeezy now. And Gucci Mane.
Okay.
You're aware of both of these rappers.
Of course.
Yeah. Meet me in the mall. It's going down Jeezy. Even if you're an adult, you probably heard that song once. Okay.
Meet me in the mall. It's going down. That's Young Jock.
Oh, dude, what am I
Dang,
thinking?
dude.
I put on for my city.
Okay.
That's Jeezy.
You need to understand that if you're going to go all the way back to the beginning with Jeezy, it's a little song called Soul Survivor with Akon.
Oh, you're my soulmate.
I'm like, it's going down. I'm like,
yeah. That's my
song
fault.
wasn't even good. That's Young Jock.
Yeah. No, Soul Survivor.
Man, don't test my 2000s rap knowledge is unparalleled.
Okay.
I actually listened to that the other day and I was like, man, because that's when he still had the. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, you need to know that the hate between these two people run deep. Okay. Gucci Mane.
They're both Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I want to say yes. But Gucci Mane, so Jeezy, he had a friend a while ago. They got shot and killed, and it's alleged that Gucci Mane is the one that killed him. Okay, they went to trial. There wasn't enough evidence. But ever since then, like they've been throwing shots at each other, like hardcore, like disrespectful terms. And so, several episodes ago, I talked about the versus battles that are going on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
They're hosted by Timbaland and another beat producer, Swizz Beats, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just getting like the best rappers or the best R&B singers or groups, and they're pitting them together. And it's just like a fun pairing, and people will get on Instagram and like vote for who wins.
For our suburban listeners, Swizz Beats is married to Alicia Keys. So there you go.
Yeah, right. No one.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah. You know it. If I Ain't Got You, it's a classic song.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
I named my second car after Alicia Keys. Yeah. Anyway.
You're a car namer.
I certainly am.
I'm like, this is the car.
That's fine. Okay, but anyway, so originally, let's see. I want to make sure that I get this right.
What happened between Young Jock Jeezy and Gucci Mane? Gucci.
Let me get to the story. Okay, so it was confirmed that Jeezy would be versing T.I., another great battle rapper, but T.I. gracefully bowed out because he saw that there was a lot of people that wanted Gucci Mane and Jeezy to go head to head. Now remember, like in the past, all these versus battles have been, there might have been rivalries and everything, but it's not like any of them killed one of their best friends. Okay, this is like real life that happened, and so people are like, there's no way that they would ever get together. Well, it is happening, and they've actually taken to social media, and Gucci Mane has even gone as far as like posting memes about the friend that he allegedly killed.
No.
And so this is gonna go live on I think it's tomorrow, the 19th. Let's see. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, November 19th. So this is happening tomorrow. I'm gonna report back on it next week.
Yeah,
but supposedly on. So I get to watch it live on Apple Music. I'm sure it'll be posted elsewhere later, but I think you have to,
okay. Yeah. Well, tell me how it goes real time.
Will do. But it's crazy because they have not been like in the same room for years and years, and there's legitimate like violence that has happened between the two. And so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But if you're a fan of rap, then your eyes are going to be peeled for what's about to go down. As far as who's going to win the versus battle, I think it's going to be Jeezy. A lot more radio hits. Plus, he has the street anthems. While Gucci Mane, he doesn't have as many public songs that have blown up.
Are you hating on Gucci a little bit right now?
I'm not hating on him. I probably actually listen to Gucci Mane more.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm saying as far as like wide appeal, I think Jeezy has it.
Still? Yeah. I feel like that ended.
Nah.
What was his last hit?
It doesn't matter what his last hit was. I mean, it matters how many hits he has in the bag. Because if they do 20 songs versus each other, it doesn't matter how recent they were. If he Put On For My City and Soul Survivor, and he has that song, he has a song with Kanye.
So wait, I don't understand what happens in these versus battles. They use their own songs?
Oh yeah, any song that they've been a part of, that they've had a verse on, or that they have produced, one of them they'll pick their song first for the first 10, and then they'll switch, and the other person will pick their song first, and each one will have to pit a song against it, one from their own catalog.
Oh, well then, yeah, Jeezy's gonna
Right,
win.
that's what I'm saying.
Sorry, I didn't even understand what happened.
He just has more appeal.
I was picturing roast battle.
Yeah, I tried to bring this back. I tried to talk about this a while ago, and I brought up like Ludacris or something, and you laughed me out of the room. So I stopped.
No.
Yeah, well,
why would I have done that? Like, this is interesting.
But granted, I kind of agree with you. If we're talking about Ludacris, we probably wouldn't take it as serious. But yeah, no. It's just going to be crazy. So as a fan of hip hop,
are we thinking that one's going to pull out a Glock? And
well, that's what I'm saying. Especially,
is that what we're hoping for? I feel like that's what you built me up to. I'm like, are they going to shoot each other? Like, gotta tune in.
I just want you to be prepared in case it does happen, man.
So Jeezy's more likely to win with the catalog. Who's more likely to pull a gun out and shoot the other one's head off?
Gucci Mane.
Yeah. Even I don't know.
So somebody tweeted
probably
Gucci Mane saying, "Go dig your partner up. I bet he can't say," and it's like Jeezy attacking him, and then Gucci Mane like retweeted that, and he's just like been going off and liking people dissing Jeezy and at the expense of his friend that was killed.
And you're telling me, you said earlier
they're about to be in the same room,
that Gucci is rumored to have killed him.
Correct.
You mean like he paid people to kill him, right? Or are you talking like by his own hand?
By his own hand.
What?
By his own trigger.
Okay.
Yep.
Like back in the day?
Yeah.
How far? Because all his recent legal battles were actually kind of like mischaracterized, right? He did a wheelie and went back to prison?
I think so. He was in prison, and this is in 2005. Yeah, but it wasn't like he got some goons to go shoot him up. It's like he did it himself.
Man, if you get shot by a man with an ice cream cone tattooed on his face, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah. Anyway,
love your tracks. Thank you for the bangers.
Right. It's a crazy world, but I just wanted to bring that up because I know we both have listened to them back in the day. I can't believe that I brought up It's Going Down. How dumb of me.
Yeah.
I'm going to regret that forever.
It made me... I remember one time you asked me if I felt like I was part of the culture, and very condescendingly.
I dropped the ball there.
And so that moment made me feel pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Pretty cool.
Thank you for correcting me.
I'm on the mixy mix tables over here. Yay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. Settle down.
But 2000s rap knowledge is unparalleled because that's all we consume. That's all I consumed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Young Jeezy.
Yeah.
That I used to.
Mm-hmm.
T.I. I don't listen to those guys anymore.
No.
Gucci.
T.I. just came out with a great album though.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks ago.
I've quit discovering music.
Yeah, you've settled for more of like the trap beats.
Yeah,
rather than like the anthems or the lyrical miracle type stuff. You know.
Wait, what?
You know, like the conscious rap, like
the conscious rap.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I don't like.
Right.
Yeah,
like more of like Common. You know what I mean?
Common was my first rap concert ever.
Sure, but when's the last time you looked him up?
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying is you kind of traded that in.
I listened to like basically filthy mumble rap,
right?
And so like Young Thug. Mm-hmm. What was the one I was talking about earlier?
Yella Beezy.
Well, no, the one I was talking about earlier. But Yella Beezy, I could talk about him all day because he's doing it for the Cliff.
Yeah, Oak Cliff, that's my hood.
What other rapper is at his level that hails from anywhere near us at this time? Nobody.
Yeah,
he is. His new track, Solid, with who's the guy on that?
I don't know. I can look it up.
That's a solid dude. He just continues to produce things that like I love, and I get super excited because
42 Doug.
Yeah,
I've never heard of him,
but it's important because these beats matter because he born and raised in Dallas. He was shot in Dallas. He recovered in Dallas. I don't know. It's cool because like Dallas is not a notorious rap city.
Yeah.
Houston is the Texas rap town, BunB, Paul Wall,
Mm-hmm.
Chameleonaire.
Oh, Houston, Texas, baby. Yeah, all them like Slim Thug. Yeah, you said Chameleonaire, Paul Wall. Like,
Baby Bash.
I don't know if I'd throw him in with them.
Baby Bash. Sugar.
Yeah, it's a little different. And he did Cyclone too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
T-Pain.
Yep. But again, so I'm looking forward to that show tomorrow, and I also want to just again recommend Chomp, the EP by Russ. The dude's rapping his ass off. Like it's pretty crazy.
I got one more thing to add before we go. I want to see if you've seen this.
Hit me.
Because I'd heard it. This guy was making the rounds on a bunch of the comedian podcasts, and I can't remember his name right now. I apologize, but I got I think I accidentally subscribed to Showtime.
Okay.
Again, but I watched this docuseries on the Comedy Store in LA, and its initial beginnings and all the way to where it is today. With like Rogan shot the last episode of that with Annie Lieberman, Whitney Cummings, several others. I am spacing at the moment, but right before he moved to Austin, Texas, like earlier this year.
Okay.
And so, are you familiar with the Comedy Store?
Yes, I've heard a lot of comedians talk about it on their respective podcasts. How do I find out the comedian? What do I need to Google to find out?
Oh, just Google the Comedy Store docuseries and IMDb or something. But anyway, I had heard about this docuseries, and Rogan had talked about it on his podcast several times with different comedians that had been a part of it. Because I know Bill Burr was like anybody who is anybody. Bill Burr, Louis C.K. They interviewed David Letterman, Jay Leno, every single comedian that is mainstream in America came out of the Comedy Store, and they were the first. It was almost like a YC or an SNL training ground for stand-up comedy. That
scroll through these names.
Yeah. It was Mike Bender.
Mike Bender. Let me see him.
I believe. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, it definitely was Mike Bender. But let me read these names to you real quick. All of these people appeared. They had live sets. Like
on this docuseries?
Oh, this is like a 6-part docuseries, and it goes through the initial founding where, Pauly Shore's mom was the head maestro of the Comedy Store. When she divorced Pauly Shore's dad, she said, all I want is the Comedy Store. Yeah. And she saw it as this new thing that she could do. And it used to be that you would not get paid. You had to try out. You had to audition. You could have already been on Conan or Letterman or Leno or Carson, and you still had to audition for Mitzi Shore.
Wow.
And if she liked you, you got to be a regular. And then they did a strike back in the day and tried to get paid. And I'm talking like Eddie Murphy, let me read these names. Louis Anderson, Bill Burr, Jay Leno, Tim Allen, Neil Brennan, Louis C.K., Jim Carrey was a major player in this docuseries. Whitney Cummings, Eddie Griffin, Eleanor Kerrigan, Argus Hamilton, David Letterman, Howie Mandel, Paul Rodriguez, Bob Saget, Andrew Santino, Tom Segura, Sam Tripoli, Jeff Altman, Andrew Dice Clay, Joey Diaz, Nikki Glazer, Whoopi Goldberg, Eric Griffin, Anthony Jeselnik, Michael Keaton.
Dang.
Burt Kreischer. Michael Keaton got his start at the Comedy Store.
Really?
Before he was a movie star.
Before he was Batman.
Burt Kreischer, Annie Liederman, Bobby Lee, Richard Lewis, Sebastian Maniscalco, Mark Maron, Court McCown, Ari Shaffir, Pauly Shore, Damon Wayans, John Witherspoon.
A lot of heavy hitters.
Martin Lawrence, Leslie Jones, Kevin Nealon, Joe Rogan, Jeff Ross, Eliza, Theo, Judd Apatow. It's literally just like reel to reel, the who's who of comedy for the last 40 years. And this places instrumental role in the way that stand-up comedy became collaborative, but also competitive, and a real craft that you could hone with an appreciation for the art, where the artists and the comedians were prioritized even above, the beer sales. And as a result, there was a line around the corner for this place for 3 different showrooms on weeknights. It was world famous because you could go in there, and as recently as last year, you'd see Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, Sebastian, Andrew Santino, and Joey Diaz all in the same night for one ticket price.
Yeah. That's
incredible.
Yeah.
And it's had these like downturns where, something happens. And the last one was the last big downturn before they brought it back to life, because it's been open like 40 years. So there's been 7 years at a time where it's not been the place to be, or just like closed, not closed, but sad.
Okay.
And they go to the Laugh Factory and these other venues. Right. The last time was when Joe Rogan confronted Carlos Mencia on stage and accused him of being the joke thief that he was. Because Carlos Mencia, it used to be if Carlos Mencia was on the ticket that night, comics wouldn't do their new material in front of him while he was there because
they were afraid.
He would just take it.
Yeah.
He'd do your opening act right in front of you.
Yeah.
And then send you up on stage and mess with you. Joe Rogan confronted him back in like 04, 07 on stage and was banned from the Comedy Store and lost his agent as a result, because at the time, Carlos's stand-up career was much larger than his.
Wow. And look at him now.
They were ripping and roaring hard until COVID, and then that's just killed the LA entertainment scene.
Yeah. That's crazy. I definitely want to watch this.
It's really, if you enjoy stand-up comedy, like I know we
It'll
both
just give
do,
you like
it's the history,
more appreciation.
Well, because it starts with Richard Pryor back in the day, and you don't understand what a close circle these people were until you see Richard Pryor standing with Whoopi and Jay and understand like this is a fraternity.
Yeah,
you got a network in the fraternity.
Rite of passage. That's great. Yeah, I'll be watching that over the weekend probably.
Well, since you won't be watching The Boys, watch The Comedy Store on Showtime.
Yeah, definitely.
You got anything else this week, bro?
Man, it's been a great episode. I just want to say I'm happy to be back with you, and again, I want to wish you a happy early birthday, and hope you feel extra loved this Friday.
Thank you. Happy birthday to all the November Scorpio birthdays.
Scorpios. I love y'all to death,
All right. Well, when we come back next time, are we going to record next week?
We can talk about it off air.
We'll see you in 2 weeks, folks.
What you doing Monday?
We'll figure it out. We'll talk off air.
Yeah.
We can do something, but I'll be another year older the next time that we come back. So
incredible, wiser.
Listen for that.
Harder, better,
nice
faster,
gravel
stronger.
in the voice.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, folks. We will catch you up next time. Have a great. We'll talk to you before Thanksgiving. I guess.
You'll hear from us.
Have a great weekend then.
Later, guys.